What's up guys, Lvladen here, and today I'm coming at you with a video on my Ret Paladin. It is patch day, it is 9.0.5, and we are going to take a look at what the best covenant is for Ret Paladins going into this new patch. So for those of you that are unaware, Blizzard last minute again nerfed Ring and Clarity further from negative 25% to negative 33%. Against players. Don't worry, PvEers, nothing is changing. They even reverted the speed change to the Ring and Clarities back to what it was from last patch. And we're going to take a look at the differences between the max damage potential that you can get out of Kyrian against players versus the max damage potential you can get out of Necro. We'll also take a look at the benefits to each, even between burst goes. The reason that Venthyr and Nightfey are not included in this video is they are not, in my opinion, worth playing for PvP at the moment. Nightfey doesn't contribute anything in terms of holy power generation or burst potential. It doesn't. Blessing of Summer, it doesn't really line up well with your Final Reckoning or your Wings, and you have inconsistent access to it. And Venthyr kind of speaks for itself. You can just step right outside that Ashen Hollow and align the pally and boom. 4-minute cooldown wasted. So, we're going to be comparing the Necro and the Kyrian damage. Let's get into it. Alright, so this is the first burst comparison between Kyrian and Necro. So, in this burst comparison, we're just going to send it with our Seraphim, our Wings, and our Divine Soul. Do it. Seraphim, Wings, Divine Soul. Okay. So we hit a single Ring and Clarity, and we crit our main judgment right there. And this is on the PvP training dummy, so it does take the 33% reduced damage from the PvP only nerfs. Get our combat log up here, and this is the PvP training dummy. We can see we hit it for a 15k main crit, which sounds about right. And we hit the secondary follow-up Ring and Clarity for a 5k non-crit. And you can see the AoEs also did significant damage. We had a 14k on another dummy, a 7k on another dummy, and another 7k. So we're only going to look at the main two PvP target dummy hits, and we hit for roughly 20k. Slightly less than 20k, excluding the insane AoE damage that Divine Soul does to other targets. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Necro. Alright, here we are at the training dummy once again. We are now on our Necro Ret, and the reason that I have less HP on this guy than I do on my other Ret is because this guy has no renown levels. So what we're going to be comparing right now is the damage from the Vanquisher's Hammer plus the extra damage on the main target with the Divine Storm, which is what we're really looking at with Necro right here. My conduit that I'm running a single conduit, and it is the conduit that increases the Vanquisher's Hammer damage by 32%. It's only fair because you have to compare Kyrian with Ring and Clarity. So let's take a look at it. My damage comparison here, I'll do the same test that I did before. I'm going to get my Seraphim, I'm going to Wings, I'm going to Vanquisher's Hammer, and then this time I'm going to use a Final Reckoning because we're trying to boost the damage as much as we can do it, and Final Reckoning benefits the Divine Storm. Let's go ahead and take a look. Start out, we're going to get our 5 Holy Power. Seraphim, we're going to Wings, we're going to Vanquisher's Hammer, we're going to Final Reckoning, and boom! We're going to take a look at how much damage did we do single target to PvP test dummy. Now right here, get my actions. We're going to look at the Vanquisher's Hammer hit on the dummy, and we're going to look at the Divine Storm. So PvP training dummy takes 8,716 damage from the Vanquisher's Hammer on a crit. Pretty impressive. Still not quite the 15k single target that we saw the judgment from prior, but you know, this also does heal us with the conduit. And then the Divine Storm single target hits for just slightly over 14k. Now, that is pretty significant. That is more than the 20k that we saw from the Divine Toll with 1 Ring Clarity proc and 1 crit. However, we got a double crit, right? The Vanquisher's Hammer crit and the Divine Storm crit. And in addition to that, we had to use a Final Reckoning to buff the damage of the Divine Storm on the single target. In addition to that, Ring and Clarity didn't hit its 3rd hit, and it generates overall more holy power, both single target and AoE. So potentially, you're going to be generating 5 holy power. Single target, in best case scenario, you're going to generate 3 holy power. It's close, guys. It's close, but I gotta say that Ring and Clarity takes the cake. Kyrian is still better than Necrolord. Let's see what we can get done with a max Ring and Clarity on a dummy. Alright, we're gonna try once again to get a Ring and Clarity. Get our Seraphim wings. We're gonna pop our Divine Toll, and there we go. Our triple Ring and Clarity. Take a look at how much it did right there. My actions. I'll drag this up so you guys can see. We're gonna look at the Blade of Justice into Crusader Strike. So the first PvP training dummy got hit for 14.5k crit. The second Ring and Clarity hit for 14.6k, and the third Ring and Clarity crit for about 9.4k right there. All right, so what are the conclusions that we can draw from that test? So we saw the max potential damage that Necrolord can do. So with Necrolord, with the 226 item level conduit, the best potential scenario in PvP for single target damage that it can pull out on a double crit is 23k damage from the Divine Storm and the Vanquisher's Hammer combined, and a net 1 holy power. That also takes more GCDs to set up than just 1 Divine Toll. So what can we expect from Divine Toll? We get a single Ring and Clarity with a main Divine Toll Judgment crit. We can do just about the same damage, 20k damage, with 2 holy power, and that is disregarding any AoE cleave target damage. Now, here's where the ceiling for Ring and Clarity is just so much more noticeable than Vanquisher's Hammer. The max potential we can get out of a Ring and Clarity, so that example that we saw right there was about a total of 28,600 damage on a triple Ring Clarity with 2 crits. Imagine if we had 3 crits single target, we'd pull that damage somewhere to around 33,300 damage on 1 Divine Toll press on a triple crit. Now, keep in mind there's a few variables that we're not taking into consideration. This is the PvP training dummy, so it does not have versatility. Players are going to take roughly, a geared player will take 15-16% less damage. We are also in a scenario where we're getting triple crits. So if we triple crit a player, we're still almost one-tapping them with Divine Toll. That scenario is going to happen far less frequently now that Ring Clarity is nerfed by 33%, but it's still potentially going to happen. No more 45k, no more 50k Divine Tolls, no more like absolutely insane triple 15k crits. It's not going to happen anymore, obviously. But the potential for Kyrian Burst over Necrolord Burst is higher. The consistency of generating more holy power with Divine Toll is better than Necrolord's 1 holy power. And Divine Toll cleaves harder than Vanquisher's Hammer does. And it's 1 less GCD, because in order to take full advantage of your Vanquisher's Hammer Divine Storm, you have to press a Templar's Verdict, whereas Divine Toll, you simply just have to push it. Push it right there. Oh, guys. It's been a long testing session. We tried out some Night Fate off stream. We tried out a bunch of Necrolord. We really tried to make it work. But in the end, Kyrian looks like it is still the best for Ret. And I'm happy about that. I didn't really want to swap Covenants and grind out their renown. I'll talk a little bit briefly about Night Fae right now. So with Night Fae, the disadvantages that I see versus Necrolord and Kyrian are you have far less consistency in terms of access to your burst. So Divine Toll lines up perfectly with our burst windows. Even Vanquisher's Hammer lines up really well. However, Blessing of Summer does not line up very well. We don't have access to that nearly as frequently as we have access to our Avenging Wrath. You're not able to consistently pair it up with your Final Reckoning every 1 minute. Although Night Fae does bring access to mobility and some interesting other blessings from the seasons, it does not compare. It also doesn't generate any holy power for you, which is another downside, especially going into 9.0.5 where Final Verdict is going to be doing tons of damage. So, in conclusion, you get to pick between Necrolord and Kyrian now. It's going to be close, but Kyrian is still better numerically, and in real situations, it is also still better. So guys, if you do like Necrolord, feel free to play it. It still does big damage. 23k is no small number. However, if you do enjoy Kyrian, you don't want to swap out of Kyrian, or you just like Divine Toll, even after the nerfs, it is still solid. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I will see you all next video. Feel free to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/LvladenPvP. I'm sorry if I sounded a little stuffy today. I'm still recovering from my COVID vaccine. I got sick after it. But yeah, we're on day 3 now and we're feeling almost back to normal. Almost there. Alright, thanks for watching. Peace.